What's up, everybody? It's your man's KJ the Great, and we dropping another edition of All Sports Media TV. And we gonna talk about a heavyweight star, that being none other than Jared Big Baby Anderson, who is 16 wins, no losses, no draw, with 15 wins by way of knockout. ESPN's number 8 ranked heavyweight, pegged by Bob Arum to be the next great American heavyweight champion after Deontay Wilder. So let's talk about his next fight, which is set to take place April 13th in Corpus Christi, Texas. He'll be taking on Ryad Merhy. I believe I said that right. Ryad Merhy. Ryad Merhy. I hope I said that right. He is 32 wins, 2 losses, no draw, with 26 wins by way of knockout. So we got a puncher and a puncher, and we gonna talk about it. So I went and did my research on Ryad Merhy a little bit. This will be his American debut, first time he's fought in America as a professional. Back in 2018, he challenged for the WBA cruiserweight title. He ended up taking a loss in that fight, but he's bounced back in a good way, bounced back with some good wins. He had a split decision win though over Yoka. Tony Yoka. In that fight, he's not like, you know, your your Tyson Fury or Anthony Joshua to any of that. I would put him more in the realms of being around, like, your Joe Joyce or your Daniel Dubois, your a little step up above Dillian White type of fighters. But he can bang. He can bang, and he can lay the wood. He can lay the punch out there. Um, I watched a couple other fights from him, and he was definitely flat-footed, which a lot of fighters today that are heavier fighters do come out as flat-footed, but um, not like your more so skilled, super skilled fighter. But hey, he's got 32 wins in 34 fights, and this will be his 35th fight, and he's coming to bang. Now with Jared Anderson, he can be great. I think he can, but I'm concerned about the guy. Now, if you guys go back and watch his one of his last fights, he did like the behind the scenes thing that they do, and he was there with Roy Jones Jr., and he just seemed like the pressure was too much getting to him. You could see he was crying, and even in his own words, he stated like within the next 3 or 4 years, whether he wins a title or not, he just hopes to make enough money to secure his family, and he can be out the game pretty much. Which, coming from a similar type of background, can't really knock the money aspect of it, but if I'm in a sport, I want to be great, and I want to be great at everything I do. And I hope that that's where his mindset goes to. He's still young, still in his mid early 20s, so we got time there. Um, he was in a fight. He had a fifth round KO over Rudenko last August. But he also had an impressive win, I would say, that was a test for him against former IBF heavyweight champion Charles Martin. I know a lot of people will say like, "Oh, it's just Charles Martin. He was only champion for 67 days before he lost to Anthony Joshua," which is true, and that's fine. He's had some losses in his career. He lost, as I said before, to Anthony Joshua. He also lost to King Kong Ortiz, most notably and recently. But him stepping in that fight, he was in shape. He stepped in for, I believe that was he stepped in for Rudenko in that fight because he had Rudenko had visa passport issues going on. So he stepped in for him. He was in shape. He had been in the gym training, and you could see it in his body. He was lean. He was ready to go, and he buzzed Jared Anderson a few times in that fight. He stung him a couple times in that fight, and it was one of those things where it's like, Jared Anderson has to fight through some adversity here, and that's, I think, what he needed. Excuse me. I think that's what he needed. Not necessarily a wake up call, but one of those type of fighters who wasn't gonna come in there and just lay down for him while he's on his rise through the top 10 rankings, but one of those type of fighters that was gonna come in and have a reason to want to win other than making money. And when you got a taste of being a champion, you want to be a champion again. And you could see Charles Martin, he has the hunger to want to be a champion again, but ultimately the more skilled, younger, stronger fighter in Jared Anderson won. And I think if he can continue and build off of that and continue on this trajectory, he can definitely be ready for one of the top guys within the next year. I'll say maybe a year at the most, because you still got guys like Frank Sanchez, F.A. Ajagba, who's making his ring return. You still got guys out there like Andy Ruiz Jr., who is heavily inactive but needs to get back in the ring. So yeah, I think Jared Anderson within this year can be on that level of guys with those guys, and within the year, 6 months out, the year after that, he'll definitely be one of the guys to be ready to take on, your Joe Joyces, your Zangs, your Daniel Dubois, all of those type of guys, and be ready to challenge for a world title. I definitely think he's there, but his mental, I think, just needs he needs to grow stronger in his mental. Now, I want you guys to tell me what you think about this fight, April 13th, Corpus Christi, Texas. What do you think? Is this going to be that revamping, coming back to the forefront moment for Jared Anderson, or will Ryad Merhy stop the train in its tracks? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you stay tuned in for these shirts. God and Grind, they are on the way. You'll be able to purchase them on my site, and I got more details coming about that too. Thank you guys. Peace.